Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Don Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. This is my morning musings. First of all right, don't forget, I will be in Salt Lake City this weekend, September the 11th and the 12th, for a seminar there with Sean McCraney and Heart of the Matter. That will be shown on YouTube afterwards, so be looking for my presentations. I will be speaking on Are We in the Last Days? Also on Saturday night, September the 12th, 2015, I'll be debating Mr. Jeff Wallace, who is a Reformed Orthodox amillennialist, and we will be discussing whether or not the second coming of Christ occurred in AD 70. So you can go to my website, eschatology.org or bibleprophecy.com, and see the details there. But just keep in mind, on Saturday night, the debate will actually start, instead of the time posted on the flyer on the websites, the debate will actually start at 6:30. Now, seating is somewhat limited, so if you're going to come, you need to be there early. Okay. By the way, I've just got to say how much I truly appreciate the thousands of you who have been watching my videos on the Shemitah. The discussions have been very lively. Of course, I've been called a false teacher and a heretic, and et cetera, et cetera. But what's interesting about it, not one single person has offered even one single Bible verse to disprove the biblical arguments that I have given. I have challenged them to do so. I have asked them to do so. But just like Mr. Cahn, who gives not one single verse of Scripture, for instance, to support his claim that even though Shemitah was given only to Israel, it also applies to America, he gave us not one single verse, not a bit of justification for it. Not one individual who has called me a heretic and a false teacher, etc., has given a verse, has done any biblical exegesis. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not talking philosophy here. We're talking, what does the Bible say? And that brings up one of the more disturbing aspects of Mr. Cahn's claims. For instance, on page 3 of The Mystery of the Shemitah, he says the mystery that he's discussing here was first revealed in the Harbinger. I take no credit for the book or the revelations therein. I wasn't looking to write a book, nor was I seeking to come up with any message or revelation. It began without being sought after and then basically wrote itself. The Harbinger contains 14 major revelations or mysteries. One of those is that of the Shemitah. And he goes ahead to say that these are revelations, and they have never been revealed until now. And you know, he was on the Jim and Tammy Faye Baker program, and he just explicitly said, these revelations were from above, from God. He is constantly introduced as an end times prophet. Well, with all due respect, Mr. Jonathan Cahn is not an end time prophet because, folks, we are not in the end times. Secondly, I want you to listen very carefully to me. There are no living prophets alive today. Now, I understand people like to call themselves prophet this or prophet that. But I say with all due respect, listen to me very carefully. There are no living, authoritative, inspired, infallible prophets of God alive today. You know, in Daniel 9:24, God said, 70 weeks are determined upon your people and upon your holy city to do 6 things. One of them was seal, vision, and prophecy. Now, in my book, Seal Up Vision and Prophecy, I examine a wide range of biblical scholarship, Hebrew linguists, who tell us that the term seal up vision prophecy meant, what it meant was to bring the prophetic office to its close through the final fulfillment of all prophecy. I document it from premillennialists, amillennialists, postmillennialists, from virtually everyone. What that means is the prophetic office, the prophetic function, was to cease by the end of the 70 weeks. Well, guess what? The 70 weeks ended no later than the destruction of Jerusalem in AD 70. 70 weeks are determined on your people and on your city. What does verse 27 predict? The total consummation and the destruction of the city. In Zechariah chapter 13, in the day in which they would mourn for him whom they had pierced, in that day, the Lord said, I will cause the prophet to perish out of the land. What day would that be? In which 2/3 of the people would perish out of the land. That was in AD 70. There are no living, inspired, infallible prophets today. Mr. Cahn can talk about receiving revelation from on high all he wants, but it is not true. The prophetic office has functioned. Look, get yourself a copy of my book. Go to my website, BibleProphecy.com, eschatology.org. Now, I can't offer my regular offer of paying shipping, okay, because the book itself is very inexpensive. It's very inexpensive. But go to the website and order this book. You will do yourself a huge favor. You will see the problem with men like Jonathan Cahn claiming to be, quote, end-time prophets. We're not in the last days. Jonathan Cahn is not an end-time prophet. Thanks so much for joining me for this morning's Morning Musings. Come to Salt Lake City and join us if you can. I will be back with you, Lord willing, next Tuesday, and I'll give you a report on how everything went. Lord willing, we'll see you then.